Okay, today's lesson is lesson 1.12, which is algebra. Today we are looking at grouping symbols. The essential question, in what order must operations be evaluated to find a solution when there are parentheses within parentheses? So yesterday we talked about having parentheses, and today we're talking about parentheses within parentheses. So let's unlock the problem. Mary's weekly allowance is $8. And David's weekly allowance is $5. Every week, they each spend $2 on lunch. Write a numerical expression to show how many weeks it will take them together to save enough money to buy a video game for $45. So over here, it asks me to underline Mary's weekly allowance and how much she spends. So Mary's weekly allowance is $8, and every week she spends $2. Then it asks me to circle David's weekly allowance and how much he spends. So David's weekly allowance is $5, and each week he spends $2. So use the parentheses and brackets to write an expression. You can use parentheses and brackets to group the operations that go together. Operations in parentheses and brackets are formed first, okay? So you want to do the things you want to go from the inside out. Okay, you want to go from the inside out. Step 1. Write an expression to represent how much Mary and David save each week. So if we're talking about their savings in the problem, remember that Mary got $8 and she spent $2. So Mary gets $8 and she spends $2. Looking at David, remember that David gets $5 and he spends $2. So how much money do Mary and David save together? So together I can take Mary's $8 minus the $2 she spends, and I can add that to the $5 that David gets. Whoops, sorry about that. Minus the $2 that he spends. That's going to give me an expression that shows me how much money they make, right? So the other part of this equation was write an expression to represent how many weeks it will take. So we've answered part of the question, but now we have to answer the other part. So if Mary and David are going to work together and they're going to save up enough money, we need to know how many weeks it's going to take us. Well, the amount that they're going to need is $45. So if I take the $45 and I divide it by how much money they make, so I'm going to put the money they make within the brackets, because the equation that I made here, okay, right here, I'm going to put it inside the bracket so that I can divide all of this by 45, which is the amount of money it's going to take for us to buy the video game. So that means I'm going to have 8 parentheses 8 minus 2 plus parenthesis 5 minus 2 parenthesis. So this is all within those brackets divided by 45. Now when I go to solve this, I'm going to do the 8 minus 2 first. Oops, excuse me. I'm going to do the 8 minus 2 first. And 8 minus 2 is 6. Remember, I still have my parentheses, or my bracket. And then I have my plus sign. And then I'm going to do the 5 minus 2 next, because I want to do parentheses inside. 5 minus 2 is 3. And then I still have my bracket, because I haven't changed it. So I've got everything inside those brackets. And I got to make sure that I put my 45 and my division signal. Okay? So now I have to do what's inside the bracket. So 6 plus 3 is 9. And then I'm going to make sure I carry out my divide sign in my 45. And 45 divided by 9 is 5. So my answer would be 5. Expression with a different grouping symbol, parentheses, brackets, or braces. You're going to, so this is a parenthesis, this is a bracket, and then this is a brace, okay? So when you're performing operations, you're going to start with the innermost side first, and then you're going to work your way out. But you still need to follow the... Okay, sorry about that. Again, you want to make sure that when you're doing the bracket, let me see here. When you're doing the bracket, the parenthesis, or the braces, you want to go from the innermost thing and you're going to work your way out. But again, you need to make sure that you're following the rules of operation. So that would be division and multiplication, and then you from left to right, just like you're reading, and then you do addition and subtraction, again from left to right, just like you're reading. So let's read the next problem, the example. John gets $6 for his weekly allowance and spends $4 of it. His sister Tina gets $7 for her weekly allowance and spends $3 of it. Their mother's birthday is in 4 weeks. If they spend the same amount of money each week, how much money can they save together in time to buy her present? So write the expression using parentheses and brackets. So just like we did before, she gets $6 and spends $4. He gets $7 and spends $3. So we're going to put that in brackets, or I mean in parentheses, and then we're going to add those together. That's how much money they actually make. Because the 6 minus 4 means he profits 2, and 7 minus 3, they profit 4, right? So we want to make sure that we've got that. And they have 4 weeks to save. So this entire thing is going to be bracketed and multiplied by 4. So let's do the innermost circle first. 6 minus 4 is 2, or $2. 7 minus 3 is 4, or $4. Okay? Then we're still with brackets, so we still have to do this inside the bracket first. 2 plus 4 is $6. And so if they're profiting $6 every week, and we have 4 weeks to save, 6 times 4 is 24. So that means they're going to save $24 in 4 weeks. So John and Tina will be able to save $24 for their mother's birthday present. So that's going to be their budget. What if only Tina saves any money? Is this going to change the numerical expression? Well, think about it. If only Tina's saving the money, are we going to have anything that John does? We're not, right? So if Tina saves the money, we're really only going to have, what did Tina get? Let's look back on the problem. So Tina gets $7 and she spends $3. So we're only going to have that part of the equation, right? We're just going to have the $7 minus the 3. So she's going to make $4, and times 4 weeks, that's going to be $16. So it's definitely going to change from $24 to $16, okay? So follow the order of operation. So let's look. We have 4 times, and then we have that wonderful, I'm actually going to zoom this in. So we have 4 times, and then we have our braces, and then we have a parentheses, and then we have a bracket, or a bracket and then a parenthesis. So we have a lot of things going on here. We have to start with the innermost one first. So if I'm looking at the innermost one, that's going to be my little parentheses because they're the most one on the inside. Okay? So that means I still have my 4. You can see that they're writing the problem up here. I still have my multiplication sign. I still have my my brace, and I still have my bracket, okay? And so now I have 5 minus 2, and 5 minus 2 is 3. Why isn't it showing me? There it goes. Is 3. So then I have my 3, and then you notice they kept the times 3 there. And then I keep my plus symbol. They kept the plus symbol. So now I'm going to do what's inside the bracket. They have my bracket, and then I have 2 plus 4, and 2 plus 4 is 6, okay? And then I have times the 2, because we keep it the same, right? Okay, so then I'm going to look, and so now I'm going to perform the operations that are here. And actually, let me erase these so it's not so confusing. Let me get rid of this. There you go. Okay, so now I'm left with the 4. I'm going to bring that down. I still have my time sign. But now I have to do this. 3 times 3, which is 9. And then I have my plus signal, right? So then I have to do 6 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. So now I'm left with, let me clear it again. Okay, so now, again, I have my 4 here, but now my next bracket says 9 plus 12, and 9 plus 12 is 21. And finally, I'm down to 4 times 21, and 4 times 21 is 84. I'm going to show it to you over here just to make sure, because I know not all of you can do that one's math. Okay, I know that I usually have to solve it out, and that's totally fine. So I have 4 times 1, which is 4, and 4 times 2, which is 8. So I'm going to get 84. Okay, so that's going to be my answer on that. So let's look at B. Perform the operations in the parentheses first. So right here I'm going to do, I have 32, right? And 32. I kept it the same, divided and divided. I have my braces, I have my bracket. So now I'm going to do what's inside it. 3 times 2 is 6, okay? And I'm going to keep this plus 7 because I'm not ready to do that yet. So then I'm going to hit minus, and then I have my bracket here. So then I have to do what's inside, which is 6 minus 4. 6 minus 4 is 2, and then I keep this the same, the plus 7. Okay, so now I still have the 32. See how it's brought down? I still have that divided. So now I'm going to do inside my brackets, 6 plus 7. Okay, 6 plus 7 is 13. Okay, and then I have this minus sign. See that minus sign's right there? Now I'm going to do 2 plus 7, which is 9. Okay, so now I have my 32 right down here, and I have my divide. So now I'm doing what's inside the braces. 13 minus 9 is 4. Okay, and then my final step is going to be 32 divided by 4, which is 8. Okay, let's look at the first one. So the first thing I have to do is what's inside my parentheses. So I have 15 minus 5, which is 10. They already wrote it. Then I have my plus sign. They already wrote it. Then I have 9 minus 3. 9 minus 3 is 6. Okay, and they already brought down my 12 plus. So now I have inside my bracket, I have 10 plus 6. So I need to do that next. 10 plus 6 is 16. And again, they brought down my 12 plus 6. So now I have 12 plus 6, which is 28. So let's look over here on number 2. Again, I have to do what's inside my brackets first. 26 minus 4 is going to be 22. Bring down my minus, and I need to make sure that I keep my 5 times in my bracket. Okay. Over here I have 4 plus 6, which is 10, and I keep my bracket. So now I'm going to do what's inside the brackets. 22 minus 10, which is 12. And again, I need to bring down my 5 times. And 5 times 12 is 60. So my answer is 60. Okay, let's look at the next one. I think I'm actually going to do the steps in different colors so it'll make it a little easier. So my first step is going to be doing what's inside the brackets, okay? So let me first rewrite the problem down. Okay, hold on. Change my color here. Okay, so I have 36 divided by the bracket, and I have this minus symbol. So right now I need to take 18 minus 10, and that's what's going to go in this blank, and 8 minus 6 is what's going to go in this blank. So 18 minus 10 is 8, and 8 minus 6 is 2. Okay, so I've got 36 divided by what's in the bracket, which is 8 minus 2, so that's going to give me 6. So 36 divided by 6 is 6. Okay, so the on your own, I'm going to do at least one more of the on your own, because I really want to make sure that we get this concept. And then you can work with a partner on the on your owns, just like we did yesterday, and I'm going to be on the floor. So anyone who wants me, that's where you're going to find me. So let's go ahead and do one more, at least one more. Let's do number 4, okay? So again, I have to start with what's in my brackets. I start on the innermost side. So I've got 4 plus, and I've got my bracket and my bracket, okay? And I'm going to bring down my plus sign. So I've got 16 minus 4, right, which is going to be 12. And I've got 12 minus 9, which is going to be 3. Okay, next I'm going to bring down my 4. Now I'm going to do what's inside the bracket. 12 plus 3 is 15. Okay, and now I have 4 plus 15, which is 19.